Let's touch on what's been happening overnight in Israel, because Benjamin Netanyahu has been giving an address in which he has vowed to continue the war in Gaza despite growing opposition within Israel. Let's speak to Richard Pater, director of the Britain-Israel Communications and Research Centre. Morning, Richard. Thank you for joining us on LBC. What exactly has Netanyahu been saying then?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on. Before we talk about Netanyahu, just for the Israeli, to get your audience aware, for the Israeli audiences, when they turn in and tune in to the Prime Minister last night, the first thing they see is another hostage video released, this time by 36-year-old Elchana Buchbut, who's been held for 562 days. Horrific images of the pain and suffering that he's been consistently been kept under in Hamas captivity, and that really strikes a chord for the Israeli public of what's going on. When it comes to Netanyahu, the first thing that he says when he addressed the nation last night also is to note the latest fatality of an IDF soldier. This time, again, to tune your audience ears to it, it was a Muslim Bedouin soldier fighting for the IDF who was killed in the fighting in Gaza. So again, if to think this is as a conflict against Jew against Arab is a misunderstanding here. This is a fight that Israel is fighting of the reasonable and the moderates against the Hamas extremists. And this is the view that a lot of the Israeli public hold, and certainly the Prime Minister was articulating last night, that this is no time to give up. He reiterated again that Hamas are refusing the latest hostage deal, and that in order to bring back the captives and kind of to restore order and deterrence, Hamas must be defeated first.
What is the state of Benjamin Netanyahu's popularity in Israel at the moment, Richard? Because I know, in the weeks immediately following October 7th, there are a lot of people saying, look, his reputation was destroyed. He was known as Mr. Security. He oversaw the biggest security breach in Israeli history, and he would be gone within the next few months. And yet I always thought that was ignoring the fact that he's the great survivor of Israeli politics. And, here we are in April 2025, and he's still there. But what is the state of his public approval?
So you're quite right. He has both kind of marketed himself as Mr. Security, Mr. Economy as well, as Prime Minister. But it's not unfair to say, I think he's a divisive figure in Israeli society. That a lot of Israeli society is really split. That he still retains a lot of support that believes he is kind of intellectually supreme amongst Israeli politicians, whilst others believe that as the Prime Minister responsible for the greatest military failure in at least 50 years, it's time to pack his bags and go home. And the polls have basically reflected that for the last 18 months or so, that he fell originally but has been regaining some popularity. And I think the picture is now very mixed amongst the country.
Richard, really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much. Richard Pater there.